Welcome ladies and gentlemen to Darksiders 2. I'll be taking some time to show off the game and share a few of my thoughts about it. First things first, I'm playing this on the PC. Why is that of import, you ask? Well, the PC version of Darksiders 2 has a few issues, it being a port and all. Let's see. No less than 4 video options, key bindings in the move list along with terrible controls, clearly missing PC hotkey button icons, some epic battles against the camera, and blurry textures. But you know what guys, I just don't care. The game is just so much fun. The combat is just wicked and the puzzle platforming sections are just brilliantly crafted. Bugs and all aside, I'm really enjoying it so far. And as long as you're having fun, hasn't the game achieved its goal?
If such a thing were possible, it would surely resume down to your very soul.
I have a few to spare.
Death has been portrayed by Michael Wincott, who does a perfect job as portraying Death as video games have envisioned him. Death is one of the last Nephilim, a race of half angel, half demon beings of immense power, and of course there are only 4 of them remaining, the horsemen themselves. They work under the Child Council, and though they seek to maintain balance and order, as soon as War is accused of bringing the apocalypse to Earth, Death goes on his own quest to try and redeem his brother. The story is fantastic in my opinion, and the settings traverses several worlds, each with its own unique atmosphere, feel, and even mobs. The setting does a great job of portraying the epic scale of the quest Death set upon himself. Death being the most nimble of the 2 known brothers, you'd think he'd have a bit more mobility. However, they stick you in large open areas. They do give you a mount, however the moment you get anywhere near a castle or fort or dungeon, they strip you of your steed and you're forced to walk. And though the areas are epically large, they are quite often unpopulated. Though it may seem empty, I suppose it fits with the law of doom spreading throughout the universe and the corruption claiming everything with it. They give these beautiful, large, open landscapes to explore, and because there's no dedicated sprint, traversing these areas will most likely end up in abuse of the dodge key. Combat in Darksiders is awesome. You need to time your attacks just right and dodges perfectly. The main reason for this is because your combo finishes can take quite a bit of time to complete, and once you've executed them there's no way to stop them, leaving you really open for attack, so you've got to really know which of your combos take how long to finish and you need to time it accordingly. Fighting cannon fodder can get repetitive at times, just because they're quite weak, and it usually ends up in button mashing. Once you learn the harder mobs' attack patterns, the same can be said for them. There's little mob variety, and it's the main reason why combat feels just slightly repetitive at times. It's usually just the same mobs over and over with, a few different skins and effects here and there. Now don't get me wrong, they're really fun to fight, probably more so on high difficulties when the challenge is more appropriate and it's not just steamrolling all over the place. A few more mobs would definitely fix this, though it's a bit late now. Getting certain types of gear can boost your execution chance. Pulling off executions on mobs is really satisfying. The animation is absolutely wicked. The redeeming factor of combat in general, I felt, was the boss battles. You fight these massive monstrous enemies and they're much larger than yourself. Each has its own attack pattern, unique set of skills, and the specific thing you need to do to take each one of them down. The battles in itself are just really epic, and they're just the highlight of this game, I think. In addition to all that, you even get to fight the Cthulhu. When you're not in combat, you'll be doing a couple of other things. One of them being walking all over the place because you can't sprint. I'm not gonna drop that. That was one of my main, one of the main flaws I saw with the game. Bugs and all aside. Back on track, the platforming sections are really well done. They take place in massive caverns and dungeons, and they're essentially labyrinths, and you'll never find a way around them, without a map. The platforming and puzzle sections go hand in hand. They work really well together. Each dungeon has its fair share of combat, platforming, and puzzles all in turn. I think these are the 3 core areas Darksiders shines in. The combat, which is stylistic and epic, the platforming sections, which are awesome in their own right, and the puzzle sections, which can really leave you stumped, which is what they're meant to do. They slowly give you new gear to play with, which changes the way you approach certain puzzles, and you'll often have to go back if you want a couple of the collectibles and secret weapons and things like that, because you now have access to areas that weren't open to you before. Back on the platforming sections, I can't stress how seriously well crafted these are. The dungeons in themselves are epically done. This is just one of the puzzles. I don't want to show you too much. Well, I wouldn't be able to even if I wanted to, because there's so many in the game, and each different in their own right. Like as you're progressing through them, there'll be quite a few dungeons in each world, and each one has, most of the time, has a new mechanic or something new that stops it from becoming too stale. And this is awesome, the way they go about giving you these new things to do and play with. Each dungeon is, fairly well populated with monsters, puzzles, and platforming sections, so you're constantly switching and you're never tired of either one. It's what I felt in any case. The collectibles in this game are such a huge pain in the ass. I was trying to go for 100% completion for this, well, I still am, and I only just managed to finish getting all the collectibles and finishing all the side quests, and they take so long to get. They take so long. They're definitely worth it. They really pimp out your character. They give you such great stats. I think I'm up to something like 50% crit chance right now. After completing all the side quests and everything, and it's all pimped out, I have to say that kind of ruffled my way through the rest of the game. The end boss was laughably easy. That's what you get. I was kind of overpowered at that point. In any case, I thoroughly enjoyed the game. It's just so much fun. I still have the Crucible to go through, which is what you're seeing right now is essentially an arena mode, and see how far you can get without dying. Survival, and they keep chucking enemies at you, and essentially I'm pretty sure they chuck every single enemy that's in the game at you at some point. I think there's something like 101 levels, which is absolutely crazy. I got up to 50 without dying, which is quite nice, but then they told me I could only carry on further if I'd completed the game and gone back in NG+, which was slightly disappointing. I have something like 3 achievements left to get until 100% completion, which I'm definitely going to try and get, especially with Darksiders, so I thoroughly enjoy the game. It's such a shame that a game like this with great gameplay is marred by technical flaws just because it's a port. I'm pretty sure the PS3 and Xbox had issues as well, though definitely not as many as the PC had. In any case, they are trying to fix them. They're constantly releasing patches. There's 2 out already for the PC and 1 out for the consoles, and they fixed quite a few issues and some progression blockers on the Xbox. This game would be epic if it was not accompanied by so many flaws and glitches, and I'm sad to say I can't really in good conscience recommend this to anyone, knowing how flawed it is. Having a look at the combat right now, you'll notice I occasionally stop the game when I open up the pinwheel, which contains all your abilities and spells and potions and whatnot, and the reason I do this and not use the hotkeys is because some of the hotkeys are in really awkward positions. One of them is even on the zero key and the square bracket key, and I have no idea how you're supposed to reach those unless you have like obscenely long fingers, which kind of be really creepy. In any case, opening up the pinwheel pauses the game, and you can see there's that little plus icon on the side, and that actually does nothing. Those buttons can't actually be pressed, and I don't see why it's there. And to begin with, it's just another one of the port leftovers. The pinwheel right now, it pauses the game, and that really takes away the fluidity of the combat. What they should have done is had a look at a game like Prototype, where fluidity is quite important. There you do have a pinwheel as well, but opening up the pinwheel actually slows down the game by a fair margin, so you actually have time to pick a skill you want, rather than pausing the game and stopping everything. And personally, I think it would have been a much better way of going about the pinwheel in general, and would definitely make combat a lot more fluid. What you have to take into account at the end of the day is that the game costs $50, and that's $50 you're going to be paying to sort of push aside glitches that get in the way of you enjoying the game. If you're willing to put all these flaws aside and are going to play the game for its gameplay, story, and epic soundtrack, you will definitely enjoy this game. If you can do those things, I seriously recommend you should check this game out. In any case, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope it gave you a nice glimpse into what Darksiders 2 actually is. And I'll be seeing you around next time.